insert the metal fitting into the buckle and pull the strap so it's tight across your hips. To open your seatbelt, lift the top of the buckle. Keep your seatbelt fastened when the seatbelt sign is on. And just in case there's turbulence, keep it on whenever you are in your seat.
So when you think about the subject of journey, a lot of different things come to one's mind. The little picture that I posted of the one-way sign at the roundabout where I'm seated right now is an important point when you're talking about journey, because there is no one way in a journey. A journey can take any one of a number of different directions and steps, and you've got to always be flexible on a journey. A journey begins and a journey ends. A journey is in fact the in-between of the beginning and the end. The fact that I'm recording this video means that my journey is not completed. I could say with the Apostle Paul, I have fought a good fight, I've kept the faith. Henceforth there's laid up for me a crown of rejoicing. But my journey's not over, and I'm thankful that it continues today. In fact, it's interesting that where I'm recording this right now is actually one of the stops along our journey. When we first moved to Lynchburg, Virginia, we bought a condominium, and it's behind me. And it was a wonderful part of our journey. My wife and I, we love Windhurst, we love the community, we love the area, and it's still a place that I love to come, especially to the Muse Coffee Company. But this was but one stop on our journey. And so as you journey, you have to think about what each stop on the journey means, learn from it, and grow from it. A journey has ups and downs. I remember part of my journey one winter was getting stuck in the snow in this very community, and a couple people came by and helped me get out of the snow, helped me to get unstuck. Which reminds me to say that, you know, a journey is not meant to be traversed alone. Whether you're single or married or not is not the issue or the question, but whether or not you have people to walk along the journey with you. You need people on the journey with you. You need people who can help guide your journey. If you're going a direction maybe that is not wise, we need people who love us enough and care for us enough to say, you know, you might want to consider going a different direction. We need other people to walk along our journey with us, because we need people who can help us when we do get stuck, when we get mired down in things that are not important, and we become, shall we say, too focused or too mindful of one part of our journey and not forgetting the other parts. That's easy to do at times when things turn south. It's easy to become hyper-focused on those parts of the journey and forget the rest of the journey. Consider the nation of Israel. I mean, God so wonderfully provided for them. He gave them manna. He gave them water out of the rock. He gave them quail when they asked for meat. Of course, that's a whole other story that we could talk about. But it's easy sometimes to forget the magnificent crossing of the Red Sea and these other things that God has provided for us in our life when you're in the middle of a difficult or a challenging part of your journey. So I've got some other thoughts about Journey. These are a few, but let's go ahead and let's take a little journey through this community, and then we'll talk some more about Journey. What do you say? What do you think about when I say the word Journey?
Journey?
Yeah.
Other than a music group?
Yeah, other than a music group.
Oh man. Nothing really comes to mind, I guess. Yeah, I think the closest biblical parallel I can put is the continual process to grow in your walk with the Lord.
Yeah.
Oftentimes call that the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about all that comes to mind.
That's good. I appreciate that. Yeah, a journey has a beginning and it has an end. Really, the journey is the in-between. And you and I are still on the journey because we're here talking, right? So the journey continues. Enjoy your journey. Sorry to interrupt your walk. All right, take care.
You're on a conference call.
No, not today. It's Saturday. All right, bye-bye. You know, another thing about Journey that I was thinking about right after I talked to a friend of mine that I happened to run up on here during my walk is the whole idea of pace. It can be a little disconcerting sometimes when the pace of your journey slows down and you want it to speed up. You know, I found that there have been times in my life when God wanted me to have a Selah moment, a pause, time to reflect. There are times in my journey where it's just been, 90 to nothing, full speed ahead, going really fast. Sometimes when the pace is fast, it's all you can do to hold on, and sometimes you wonder, am I missing something? Am I getting this right? But I believe that if we will submit our lives to God, He can control the pace. I don't know about you, but I want God's foot on my gas pedal. Because my tendency sometimes, and this is not a pun about driving cars, but sometimes my tendency can be to pedal to the metal. Another thing about pace, thinking about it, I'm sitting in my car. I've got cruise control. It's easy sometimes in our journey to kind of turn the cruise control on and just kind of coast, not really think about where we are and how fast we're going to get there. So that's another thing to think about when you think about journey. You think about the pace. Are you comfortable trusting and relying upon God to set the pace? I've never run a marathon. I think the farthest distance I've ever run in a race was a 10K. But I know enough about running that you've got to set your pace. If you start out too fast or you start out too slow, all of that can affect your journey. So let's keep thinking about journey. What do you say? Another thing that's really important for you to keep in mind when you're on a journey is unexpected detours. Like, look at this sign here. Expect lane closures, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. You've got to be flexible when you're on your journey to take those interruptions, those detours, those course changes in stride and not get frustrated. Deal with them and then move on. Another thing that's really important about journey is to know what your destination is. Where are you going? Where do you want to arrive? When you go on a vacation, you break out Google Maps like this, and you say, okay, Google, navigate to Jacksonville, Florida, whatever. And you have a GPS. You have a GPS on your phone, and it gives you turn-by-turn directions and instructions. But in order to do that, you have to know where you're going. You have to know what your destination is. Do you know what your destination is? Yeah, sometimes the destination may change, but I think in general it's important for us to have a goal, a destination. Where are we going? Which then leads us to how we're going to get there. How we get there is all part of the journey. By the way, let me just share something for you dads. We have a problem. Let's just go ahead and confess it and admit it. When we take our families on a vacation, our goal is to conquer the trip. We don't take time to smell the roses. You know, when we go through a drive-through, we know what we want. But your wife and your daughters, even though they've been through that drive-through a zillion times, they like to study it. So you have to be patient when you're on the journey. Take some time to stop at the Monkey Jungle or the Serpentarium or some other, touristy site along the way. It's not important just to conquer, it's to enjoy the journey. Well, I think that's about all the thoughts I have to share with you about a journey, except I'm going to end this video in a way that I've not done before. I'm going to share with you a song, a great old Michael Card song called There's Joy in the Journey. So for those of you who have not been properly introduced, this is Mr. Kidney. This is my wife's favorite guitar. I bought it in 1968 at Ace Music in Miami, Florida. It's a Giannini Craviola made in Sao Paulo, Brazil, made with the Brazilian rosewood. And I want to use this old guitar that's been on the journey with me since 1968 to share with you a song that I think has great meaning by Michael Card called There Is Joy in the Journey. There is joy in the journey. There's a light we can love on the way. There is a wonder and wildness to life and freedom for those who obey. And all those who seek it shall find it, a pardon for all who believe, hope for the hopeless and sight for the blind. To all who've been born of the Spirit and who share incarnation with Him, who belong to eternity, stranded in time and weary of struggling with sin. Forget not the hope that's before you, and never stop counting the cost. Remember the hopelessness when you were lost. There is joy in the journey. There's a light we can love on the way. There is a wonder and wildness to life and freedom for those who obey, and freedom for those who obey, and freedom for those